This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by attorney Andrew Van Arsdale.
Hello, my name is Andrew Van Arsdale, and today I have with me Ginny Sparks.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Just to start, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the LDS Church?
I was a young child growing up in the Navajo Indian Reservation in Arizona, and my siblings and I, we were out herding sheep, and they basically kidnapped us and took us to BIA boarding school, which is run by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. There were really 3 states that they took these us Native kids and placed into Mormon families, and they were in Arizona, Utah, and California. So, and Navajo was my primary language. I didn't know English. I was probably 7, and I was taken to Mesa, Arizona, and I was placed with a foster family, which I stayed with for 9 years until I graduated from high school. So I became Mormon.
This is a hard question, right? But did you end up being abused in that home?
I did. I had a foster brother that was 4 years older than me, and it ended up being an abuse situation, and I didn't feel comfortable coming forward because my foster father was a bishop. My number 1 goal was not to do anything to jeopardize being sent back to the reservation and then being placed back into the boarding school system, which was a very abusive place to be. So I just felt shame. I felt that maybe I had somehow contributed to that. It is very difficult to talk to a man about something like that, something as personal. So I never, again, didn't say anything at that time.
I can't imagine you could. I mean, they plucked you from your homeland with your natural family and sent you to Mesa, Arizona, and put you in this household where you suffered abuse under your foster brother. I mean, what were you supposed to do?
Exactly. I felt pretty much like I was stuck. And it took a long, long time for me to even come to terms with it and to come forward. And it was even after I left the Mormon church that I was able to really process it and say, this is not right. There's got to be something that needs to be done. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one that went through the same thing.
And we've experienced multiple perpetrators, and your foster brother.
Yes.
Your Sunday school teacher.
Yes, and also a missionary.
It permeates all aspects of their church, at least in your experience.
Literally from age 13 until I was 45 years old, I was sexually abused in one form or another. The journey that I've been on has been very long. It's been painful and sometimes hopeless because I felt like there's nothing that could be done. Something that happened to me a long time ago as a child. And it's not very many people know this about me. It's not something that I divulge. And even my husband, to whom I've been married for 20 years, doesn't know the whole picture, doesn't know everything that's happened to me.
And today, you're standing up to the church. You're asking for accountability for what they let happen to you while you're a child. And, you know, what does that mean to you, number 1? And number 2, what would you like to see come out of this process?
My wish list would be for them to change from the no tolerance to a 0 tolerance. Hold predators responsible. Send them to prison. You know, don't coddle them. Don't have them get back into the church so they can harm more children.
What would you say to somebody else that's thinking about coming forward but maybe hasn't found the courage to do so?
Recognize that your voice is your most powerful tool. It takes an unspeakable amount of courage to come forward and speak up. I would say to them also that now is the time to break the silence. It's time to hold those people that abused us when we were young children, and for those to be held accountable for the ones that didn't listen to us and allowed it to happen. So I'm gently reminding you to come forward. Tell your story.
As of today, hundreds of people have come forward and are holding the church accountable. What would be the best case scenario that could come out of all this bravery, all of this courage of all these people standing up to the church?
first of all, face it, and to be able to acknowledge it and break my silence is very empowering. To stand up to an organization who pretends to be a church, who often shields sexual predators, is very empowering.
I want to give you the chance, Jenny, to look right in that camera and talk to the little girl that was you at one time, that's still out there, that's thinking about this and wants to find the courage to come forward.
It's time to make a stand and come forward. This is something that you will not regret, because this is about you. You're the person that has been damaged, and they're trying to keep it silent. And now is the time to say no more, that it's time for us to stand up together as victims and come forward.
If this happened to you, contact our law office today. Take your power back. Let's shine a bright light on the abuse within the LDS Church, and let's protect the children of tomorrow today.
Attention, current and former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Survivors of childhood sexual abuse often suffer in silence their entire lives from the abuse they endured. For too long, LDS survivors have had to live with these awful secrets and the torment of moments of terror that forever altered their lives. The Mormon Church knows that this abuse should have been prevented, and because of recent changes in the law, you may be able to hold the church accountable for what you went through. No amount of justice can ever change what happened to a survivor of sexual abuse, but the church has the power to show survivors that their suffering is not in vain. If you were sexually abused as a child in the church, come forward now, join other survivors, and together, let's find out if the church can give you the help and healing you deserve. Call now for a free consultation.